Okay, that's us now in record. Well, good afternoon and welcome everyone to part one of our mini-series Women at Sea as part of our STEM Girls Online delivery. We have today, as the coordinator of our group, we have Kathleen Santos. Hope it's somebody else just going to join us. We also have, going around the room, our guest speaker today, who's Vicky Gren. We've got Anna Rusick, Leslie Jones, and we've got Marge Clark. I will just be keeping my eye on the waiting room as we go along in case anybody else comes to join us. For anybody else who's joining, I just need to seek their permission. Marge, you have permission to be recorded at this time?
Yes, but I'm going to stay off camera if that's okay, Jan.
Fine. Absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Okay,
Perfect.
That's fine. I'd like to pass you first of all to Kathleen, and Kathleen can introduce Vicky and her connection to Vicky Gren as a source of inspiration for our movement. Thank you, Kathleen.
Yeah, I think more than 3 years ago, I met Vic, and she been my inspiration to be on Merchant Navy. That's why I am on Merchant Navy right now. I talked to her, I was thinking, I'm too old to start on career on Merchant Navy. And she said, no, Kat, you're not. And she believed on me. And she been a very inspirational person in my career right now.
Thank you very much for that intro. And with no further ado, can we pass over to Vicky? Vicky.
Thanks very much. Well, I feel really proud that I'm Kathlee's inspiration because, I'll go over my career in a second, I'll share my screen, but, it's always good, I think, to get people into the Merchant Navy because it's not a career that a lot of people know about even or understand what it's about. So, yeah, it's really makes me happy to hear that. So I have overview of my career at sea. I don't know, you guys all deck cadets, are you? Or engineer?
No, some is engineer.
Okay, deck and engineer. Well, I'm a deck officer, so I'll be looking at that side of things, but yeah, it's all about working on ships at the end of the day, so I'll try and share my screen. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yep.
The blue slide, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. So actually my company that I work for now asked me about a year ago to do a little thing about working at sea. I work for a subsea engineering company, Technip FMC, and this is what I'd presented to them just to for a bigger awareness of what it's like, the career path of working at sea. So I started off my career when I was 30, so I wasn't straight out of school either. And that's why I believe that you can change your career later in life because, you still have a long time to work. So, why not if you're going to be happier, right? So I was 30 when I started in the Nautical College, as it was then, as a deck cadet. So you guys all know how that goes, 3 years of training with different phases. And then as soon as I qualified, I went on to work on ferries, and that was for Stena Line. I worked on the Stranraer to Belfast ferry. So the reason this has got happy faces and sad faces is because it's based on work-life balance, which is one of the challenges of working at sea, especially I think for females, especially when you go on with life and if you have kids, if you get married, it becomes even more of a challenge for us, right? So during the first stage of my career when I was a cadet, it was 4 month trips at sea. So that's quite challenging, I think, for relationships and, depending on your situation. For me, it was fine at the time, but it wasn't right for me to continue on that path, which is why when I qualified, I went to the exact opposite extreme of working on ferries. The ferries was 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and it was just down the road, I was living in Glasgow, so just drive down to Stranraer, get on the ferry and then drive back after 2 weeks. So it's really for work-life balance, it's really good route to take. But then after that, I decided that I wanted to get into the offshore industry. So I moved to work on supply vessels in the North Sea. And that was okay. I mean, the bad thing about that was the weather, to be honest. But it was 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off. So in terms of work-life balance, that was quite fine for me. And, you know, I was in a relationship at that time. And, you know, my partner was happy with that as well. And then I got fed up with the bad weather, to be honest. So I thought I'm going to, you know, try. I had my DP ticket at that time. I don't know if you guys know about dynamic positioning. Yeah, you do. Okay. Mm-hmm. So an additional add-on for a deck officer, if you like. So I was able to move in different companies. So I moved to Technip FMC. And that was 6 weeks on, 6 weeks off, because it was further afield outside the North Sea. So I was working in, you know, the Gulf of Mexico, Trinidad, really anywhere in the world outside the North Sea. So 6 weeks on, 6 weeks off was great for the time off, and for the time at sea it was okay as well. It was fine. And during that time, I became pregnant and had a baby. So I had some time off. I was off for about a year and a half. My company supported me through that. And I went back to sea when my daughter was 10 months old. And then I continued to do that for a few years, 6 weeks on, 6 weeks off. So obviously, as we know, it's all mostly guys at sea. So, you know, it's perfectly normal for them to go back and work with babies at home, but not so normal for a girl. So, I mean, obviously, myself and my partner had agreed that was fine for us. So we dealt with it, you know. But it actually turned out that when she got a bit older, I wasn't very happy to go away for 6 weeks after all. So an opportunity came to work for the same company, Technip FMC, in an office-based environment as a marine superintendent. So that's what I'm doing now. So you can see from 2007 to 2020 is not a long time, really. And that's how quickly your career can progress. And during that time, you know, I didn't get my master's ticket, but I did my chief mate's ticket during that time as well. So careers at sea can progress pretty quickly I think particularly for females if they're supported, you know. So the opportunities to move ashore, if the work-life balance and working at sea, you know, there's always opportunities there as well to move ashore. And just as interesting, you know, right now I'm managing a fleet of vessels along with other people, and I still get to vessels a lot. So I feel like I still have my hand in, you know. And yeah, so it's just depends on the situation and what you guys want at the end of the day. And then I've got another slide about some challenges and opportunities. So when I was doing this, I'd done a bit of research. So I found that 2% of the world's seafarers are female, of 1.25 million. So it's probably one of the most underrepresented industries ever, really. Yeah. But even at that, 94% of those 2% are on passenger vessels, which indicates that they're not actually officers. So, you know, the ratio goes down significantly, really, because, you know, they're working in other hotel services or other types of work on the vessel. And of course, females at sea tend to be younger, and there's fewer offers than their male crewmates. Well, I think that a lot of females at sea, when it comes to the point, if they have kids or start a family, or, you know, if that happens, then a lot of females just, you know, fall out and find some other career path that suits their work-life balance better.
And maybe because we have to stay too long away from house, and lots of seafarers think about first home family. It should be like that, and the kids as well. So a lot of girls, I don't think, want to go to this path because of the family.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, when I went to sea, when, you know, my daughter was younger, for me it was fine, but everyone's different. Mm-hmm. So you know, it just depends on the person. There's some, I mean, it also depends on your partner, to be honest, because a lot of, I think a lot of guys would just be like, well, no.
Me and Vicky have a good partners because they
You know, because
help us a lot.
yeah, we might have come a long way in accepting females in different industries and stuff, but it doesn't mean that we haven't come that far, you know.
I like yours.
I can see Leslie's just like shaking her head all the time. She gets it.
I like your quote there about candidates have to be unmarried Indian citizen.
Yeah, I know, I found that online. So it shows you, and we know that it's a multicultural environment, right? And I mean, I've worked with people who just have said to me, like close colleagues who've said to me on a ship, that wouldn't be my wife, you know. If you were my wife, you wouldn't be here. Like, there's no way I would be at home watching the kids, or, you know.
I hear that in college as well. One of the colleagues on my college passed to me and say, if you are my girlfriend, you're never been here. And I say to him, that's why you're never going to be my boyfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an interesting observation in a different way. I certainly wasn't in Decker Engine myself. I worked in ships and passenger liners in one of the franchise, the shops, and then a wee bit of pursery some years back. And at that time, a lot of people, interestingly, when it comes to relationship, a lot of people, you know, maybe met their future husband or wife actually at sea. And there was that very odd, it was quite unusual, you get the odd couple did have young children on board, but where it usually raised its head was when it came to the schooling part. Then what happens? Can the children be accommodated on board? That's another, maybe another consideration.
Yeah.
But as always, it's this pregnancy, isn't it? It's the you know, women having the children, the caring responsibilities, and how we're being supported in terms of taking their career forward. Yeah, that's Vicky. That was absolutely really interesting, and I love your illustrations and the way that you've told your story. I think this would be a good time if anybody wants to chip in with some questions.
Yes, I have a question. How's being a girl on maritime, on the companies you work in before? Some supportive, another one's not. Your colleagues inside of the vessel as well. How they cope with a girl?
I think that I've always been quite lucky, and I've worked for good companies. So companies that actually want to promote females at sea. So for me, it's always been fine. I mean, you do get, deep sea is probably the hardest challenge because you find guys on board who've been there for like 12 months, and most likely deep sea, you're probably going to be the only female on board as well. So, you know, you get guys that try their luck, and, you know, you just need to deal with that, whatever way you like. But I think that the hardest thing for us is, like, I used to hate when they moved my vessel to vessel, because sometimes I just thought I can't be bothered to prove myself all over again. Because you do need to work harder, I feel. I mean, once you get the respect of the guys on board, that's fine. You know, and then you'll always have it, but you can't just go and just do a, you know, get by job. You need to go and prove that you can do the job just as good as a guy can do it. That's what I feel every time I went on a new vessel. That's the kind of hardest, but other than that, I've always been quite I've been supported by the companies, fine, no problem, more or less. Yeah.
How would you recommend, Vicky, that for people starting out in this career, how can they locate the companies that are going to best support them as a woman wanting to develop their career at sea for an even playing ground?
I don't know that, to be honest. Because I think I've just been lucky moving from one company to the next, where I think if you work for a reputable company, then that's a good start, right? So you don't go and work for, like, you know, a ship that's not paid their crew for a year, or do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's always a good start. If they're a reputable company, then hopefully they're going to have as much respect for a female on board than for a guy on board. Yeah. But a lot of it probably comes down to the management on the ship as well, like the captain and the chief engineer. Yeah. So if the captain and the chief engineer are more than happy with you, and, you know, mostly they're professionals, so hopefully they would, then that kind of culture filters down through the ranks, I suppose.
Yeah, that's lovely. Leslie or Anna, do you have any questions you would like to ask?
No, I can just, hello everybody, I'm a lecturer at the Nautical College, and I can totally, that's like telling a bit of my story, what I've just heard there, Vicky. I'm actually doing a research essay for my teaching qualification in further education at the minute, and I'm researching about STEM and the lack of women that are still not taking this up. Excuse me, I was just asking for the potty.
Sorry.
Oh, you need to get that one.
Carry on. That's quite interesting,
So I just thought I would come on, and because I have got a family, my husband also works at sea, so it's hard for me to get involved in a lot of the extracurricular stuff around STEM, but I thought I'll take the jump tonight and say hello to everybody and just find out people's views about what can we do to get more women into STEM. I mean, I totally understand what you're saying, Vicky. I mean, I started out at sea. I was a midwife before I went to sea. So I was 17, I left school, done midwifery, didn't like it. And then I was kind of dodging about factories and call centres, and it was a friend of mine that got me into it. And I'll be honest, he had a nice car, he had a nice house, loads of time off and loads of money. Sounds really good. So I started looking into it because I didn't know about the Merchant Navy. I then went to the Nautical College, as it was in Glasgow, in 2003 to do engineering. Qualified in 2006, and I've spent my career in the oil and gas industry mainly. I worked for a company called Farstad for over 10 years on their supply ships, and then from there I went to a company called ProSafe doing offshore accommodation rigs. And then from there, had the wee girl, got pregnant, had the baby.
That was game over.
Because my husband.
Because of your husband, is it see, or your partner? So if that's
my husband's so he's a bosun and a crane operator, so we felt it was easier for me to get a job ashore. So luckily I got a lecturing job at the City of Glasgow College, so that's what I've been doing for the last 3 years. So that's just a wee snapshot about mine, but I'm just interested to get your opinions on what can we do. You know, when I was at sea, I was the only lady in the engine room. There was girls and women on the deck side, even at that, there were still very many. You know, so I'm just interested to hear your thoughts, and is there anything we could do? Because I find a lot of the campaigns and things that are run can be quite patronising towards women. Like they'll put all these pictures up of women with like a hard hat on in their boiler suit, full of makeup and glamorous, and I'm like,
and it's really a glamorous career, is it?
You've been there, and within STEM, I mean, we've been part of a number of construction type campaigns or projects, and I can warm to exactly what you're saying there, Leslie. And the bigger picture is getting women into and supported in STEM and retained in STEM. So this is the beginning of a mini series of a wee bit more hands-on with a particular focus in nautical. But as part of, you may well be interested, it'd be great to have you on board as part of the larger picture of this series. We're trying to delineate or come up with a list of things, you know, some of the problems, some of the barriers, some of the potential solutions. As I said, our grand aim, which is really quite grand, to be honest, from where we're sitting, is that we come up with our own charter for change, keenly aware of the Women in Maritime Charter and of that relaunch this year in Scotland, which is brilliant. So we want to be aligned to that. But there's the possibility, and you'll see that that's wonderful from the research point of view, to be able to come up with our own our ideas and what that might look like. So I'm just going to share my screen for a wee second if I can.
Maybe I need to stop. Yeah,
thanks, Vicky. Bear with me a wee moment. I'll just find this stuff.
I think there's also an argument for you know, going into schools and informing the kids that it's an option, you know.
I agree.
Like you say, Leslie, I never knew about it either. You know, no one told me.
That was the same.
Yeah.
By accident.
One of the very beginning stages, we've just, I mean, this is just very basic and it's the beginning. We've started a wee Padlet that we're going to share between our group. and I've got the details there. I'll send on the link, and it doesn't need to be as formally written as that. I've just chucked in some examples there. There were a couple of things that Kathleen had ideas there about age and about rate of pay. So, but it's just really a kind of a brainstorm, if you like, about what some of the problems are and some of the potential solutions for developing opportunities for women at sea. So that's one thing that we're working on. We might actually put this into a Google document as well that can be passed again. Although we have a small number of people online tonight, our database is between 40 and 50 adherents to the group, many of whom from different countries. We've got Japanese members, for example. She's sorry she can't be here tonight. So it's quite nice as well to get that kind of wee international flavour, international look. So this would be something that we can, a document that we can pass and we can grow, and it will be a growing living document. And the hope is at the end of this, Kathleen's got handle in this, is that we're going to be developing our charter for change, what we think, these are basic ideas, but what we personally think would really make a difference. I mean, Vicky, something that really I'm just aware of time, but really stands out to me from your story. I mean, it may sound very little to you, but the fact that you were able to return to sea with a child at home was probably quite I'm sure a lot of people really asked you about that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So childcare would be a very obvious one. So this, after this call, I will send out, hold on that. So that's what it should look like. There's some barrier and solutions mapping there. I'll send round these resources.
I know I'm off camera and I'm kind of lurking a little bit. I don't know if you guys can hear me just now, but
yes, we can hear.
Yep. No, that was really, really lovely to hear your stories. I would say that I am a student engagement officer at the college, so I'm a staff member. I wasn't previously involved in any kind of STEM roles, but I do mentor a lot of class reps and faculty reps in STEM, and would also love to engage more women into coming and being inclusive in the faculty, setting up societies like Ketley has done. But it's really, really challenging. And I know this might sound controversial, but I think a lot of it is including guys in the discussion as well, like including men, because part of tackling the stigma is making a lot of guys aware of these barriers that are probably invisible to them. But are very, very prominent. Like, I was really struck by what both of you guys shared about your experiences, like when you're on a ship you have to work harder and you have to prove yourself. And I think that's true, and I think that a lot of, even as far back as secondary school, when you're in first year and second year of high school, I loved techie, like I absolutely loved technical drawing, but I felt like I couldn't take it on as a standard grade or a higher, because I would have been the only girl in the class, because I remember that going from second year to third year, I would have been the only girl. I kept getting told that I should do art because my drawing was more artistic than technical, even though I loved like woodworking. And these kind of barriers are systemic, and they occur at a very young age. And that kind of expectation of behaviour begins to get narrowed down as well, that women should, and non-binary people should, accept language that's used. Sometimes we all love having a laugh, but it can be very derogatory, and there's a pressure to kind of laugh along and jolly along in that kind of environment as well. But I wonder if there are a lot of guys out there that maybe don't realise how damaging that is, because they've never experienced that pressure in the same way.
Yeah, right now on STEM we have collaborators as well. The guys enjoy with us all the time, like Nathan and Robert. They are all the time with us when we have, you know, when we are on the class before, and when we are on the STEM on Thursdays. And then Christmas as well, they appear as well. So all the time we try to pass, but I think this stigma of I don't wanna go to a girls' meeting has appeared again.
I think it can be said, and I think it's true. that when the workplace improves for women, it improves for everyone.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And we're looking for inclusive workplaces with equal opportunities to develop and to succeed. What I think you've outlined beautifully, Vicky, was your story, and you obviously the true grit that you've had to get to where you are. And I think that gives us a window into some of the challenges to take forward into our next part of our mini-series. So I'm very conscious we're in a lightning call, so we're time bound. Ladies, that's the 30-minute hit. Thank you very much for attending today. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Can I have a few sentences?
Yeah, please come back. Anna, yes, please. There's something you'd like to add.
I was thinking to say that it will be good to have a survey research on college to ask like maybe 5 or 6 questions to ask male students and females how they feel and about the language barrier and about females on the sea and about working with people from different nationalities, because I think that the students are not really aware of the working environment on the ship, that they will work with maybe female or people who are coming from different parts of the world. So I think if it's put as a question and if you see their answers, what they think about the females, maybe it will be more clear. Or I think a lot of guys they think that it's not place for females. It's just I think it should be something to see what is in their head, what can get improved. If you understand me, maybe if they answer questions without writing name and surname, just that you can see how every year are they things improving.
And we can do that. It's a very good idea to hear the voice of the students, what they think about the female on the college or on the industrial version.
And one more thing also before I finish. Sorry, I was thinking to ask because one of you girls said that you enrolled in a later age, and a lot of companies have an age limit. So did you had any problems, or for example, did you hear that company has age limit, but they still hire older people? What's your opinion about age limit for cadets?
I don't think we have this problem here in UK. In Brazil, I know we have, but in UK, that's why Vicky inspired me a lot, because she say we don't have limits here, Kathleen. My problem when I entered on the college was because I'm from Brazil and my background is from Brazil, so the companies don't know my background and they don't know how the equivalence of the subjects I do. So I have to do the pre-cadetship to prove I can, be able to understand and do all the exercise, physics, maths, and communication. And after that, I have a big, massive support in the college. And the age, like I say, I'm over 30, so more than 35. And the company is, like the companies on the college, they actually fighting for me. So that's a very good thing, that's very good environment, because I think the companies here think when you are more old, you more know what you want to do. So they want more you than actually a young person, because the old person is more kind of responsible and know really what you want to do. So my companies right now are being hiring for a company. no hiring, but they're gonna pay my my college. So the company is very supportive, and they know I am over 35. So this is for me as a massive change in my life, because in Brazil, if you see about the merchant navy, you have to start very young. For female, you have to be 18 to 23. So here we don't have that limits for age. I think that's have to be, if people know more about that as well, I think that's going to be open doors for, you know, students like me, mature students.
Yeah. That's lovely. I'm sorry, Anna, I'm sorry, I need to stop
No
here
problem.
because our recording time will run out. Thank you very much for joining us today. I hope
Thank
we
you,
take
Vicky.
these matters forward. We've got the bakings there for a survey monkey, for a longitudinal study, and to continue to build on our research. And we'll be delighted to have you on board on that, Leslie. Fantastic. We'll be in contact, and thank you very much. Vicky.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Vicky.
Thanks
you,
for
Vicky.
having me. Thanks a lot.
Anna. Thank you, Marge.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.